Freaks. I am Frank, and today I'm joined by Squeaks
Squeaks.
and Jonathan.
Hey, yo.
Bit of the OG crew. We've had a lot of
All
the
right.
newer guys rolling around, but we got you guys back. We have a lot to cover today. We're going to be talking about the new Harry Potter game. We got a big Batman news that just dropped over this week. But let's first start with our question. What Harry Potter house do each of your pets belong to? Jonathan, let's start with you.
so we almost got Squeaks real pissed before we started recording. I don't know anything about the different houses of Harry Potter. So I was like, well, I don't have a pet lion or a pet snake. So
So
what do
direct.
I have a dog and two cats. How do they fall into these houses? They all have animals. And yeah, he's just like, what? You don't know another one. So yeah, you guys got to educate me a little bit on what the different houses mean.
Well, just a question for you, Squeaks, since you know more than me. Could you have a pet snake that's like a Gryffindor snake? Or
Yeah, I think so. Actually,
Yeah.
Or snakes naturally evil.
I think there's a couple.
that's the thing that Jonathan keeps messing up on. He keeps thinking Slytherin just means evil.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
evil, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
No.
Oh, goodness
Joffrey.
gracious.
it's just like it.
Wait.
Um,
Oh my god. You know that's not Joffrey, right? I just want to now
No, I
confirm
know.
that. Okay.
They just
Yeah.
look, they like play the same person pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
In my
Harry
mind.
Potter is a beaver. Yeah, because there's multiple attributes for each house. So I feel like, let's just throw it out there, like kind of like the really opposite of the movie is like Gryffindor versus Slytherin, right? Because you got the
Right.
Harry and the Draco thing going on. So I can see a snake. Well, with Gryffindor being like the main one, like bravery.
Right.
Yeah, shit. Maybe your snake's super brave or something like that. You know, I don't
There we
know.
go.
I'm not a reptile type fan, so I don't really know
Same.
how they
Yeah.
act. So yeah, I can't speak for snakes. So, but I'd be pretty pissed off if I had a pet snake and then somehow it puts a sorting hat on and it's like, oh, Hufflepuff. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, so Squeaks will start with you. I'll go second, and then Jonathan, listening to both of our explanations,
Okay.
we'll have
All
answers
right,
for
all right.
his pets. So Squeaks, go ahead. Let's hear about your pets.
All right, so I'll just go for my one, my dog, which is a husky, named Yeti, and so speaking of like I just did with Gryffindor and like the main attribute is like bravery. I don't think my dog's brave, so
No.
so we'll cancel that one out. Hufflepuff is more like loyalty,
Mhm.
and I don't think my dog's loyal at all because when she meets like someone brand new, she'll jump all over them and lick them. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Not what do you Ravenclaw with the intelligent and like witty. So I'm not saying this because I'm a Slytherin fan and whatnot, but I will think Slytherin is also like besides cunning and ambitious. I think my dog, even though when I want to this is gonna sound bad, but like fucking put this dog in the ground because it digs so much holes. Okay. If I see another hole in my effing backyard, okay,
You're gonna widen it a
Is
little
it big
bit.
enough?
I don't know why in a little bit this dog's going in. So no matter what, I feel like that can be an ambitious, like no, like saying no to me when you're not looking. I will definitely be digging another hole. So,
Yeah.
but now I got it locked up on the side of the house, so a side where I don't care that's not visible. So have at it. So
Yeah.
I'll go with Slytherin.
Slytherin for your dog. Okay. So I have two dogs, and Beans, who is he is the smart, the cunning one. A lot less affectionate. He's like he knows the game. He knows what going outside means and what it could mean. Like he's definitely the smart one. He's Slytherin for sure. And I'm constantly having to play like mind games, like trick him and like, oh, you're going here, and you're like, haha, bitch, that's the vet.
Yeah.
On the other side, we have Aang, who loyal to the end. I was like, okay, is he brave though? He'll act brave. He'll like get up in your face and stuff like that, but then he just melts to butter whenever like shit gets real. So I'm gonna say Hufflepuff for him.
Nice.
Very loyal though, and and kind of night and day with Beans, he's a great dog. Beans will defend you too, but he's out for himself first, and then if like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, Frank gives me food, so I gotta protect him. And Aang doesn't think that way,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, and Aang is not as smart as Beans. I'm gonna be honest, poor guy, but he's a nice dog. All right, Jonathan, do you have a better idea for yours now?
So I got two cats and a dog.
Mhm.
One cat is definitely smarter than the other one, though. So I'm gonna say Zoe is a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Is that the smart ones? Yeah.
Hmm.
Because like she can get away from the other pets, especially when the dog's being annoying. She can like find a way to jump over the fence and stuff like that. The other cat, he'll just like sit next to it, like, "Hey, can you guys let me through? Because I want to get on the other side." But he's not smart enough usually to sneak through places like the older one. So yeah, I think Zoe's a Ravenclaw. I think our younger cat, what's his name? I can't even remember his name right now.
You can't remember your
Ash.
cat's name. No
There
wonder
you
why
go,
you can't
Ash.
remember Harry Potter houses. You don't know your own pet's name.
Right? Smaller one's Ash because I keep thinking of my son's name. I'd say he's probably a Hufflepuff because they're known for loyalty and hard work and patience. So he's very loyal.
He's reading that chart with the different Harry Potter houses so hard right now.
Yeah, I had to bring it up on the computer. Like, okay, but the chart that I have doesn't have their names next to him, so I have to look at another chart to get the names. It's terrible. It's terrible. And so my dog, I don't know, because she's pretty smart. She can, if we don't latch the gate properly, she can unlatch the gate. She can dig and get out most of the time. She makes holes everywhere, like you're saying.
She's an escape artist, that's for sure.
Yeah, so she'd probably be a Ravenclaw too, probably intellect, even though she's very like calm usually. She'll just sleep on the couch most of the day. But yeah, she's sneaky sometimes too, like stealing food off the counter when we're not looking.
She doesn't have any of the brave attributes. She's not. She's almost cunning though, so I kind of think she could be Slytherin as well because it's a difference between smart and cunning, and she's kind of closer to cunning sometimes. Yeah,
she's also like if you step toward her, she's gonna roll belly up.
Yeah,
she's not
aggressive in any way.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a muggle. Who are we kidding? Your dog's a muggle. She's at the train station watching kids run into a wall like, what? She's like surprised.
And then she's going to try it too.
Examining the wall the whole time like, where are they going?
Yeah.
All right. So for the network, for Geek Freaks Network, we have a brand new Pushing Buttons coming out on Wednesday. We got a brand new Trek Freaks coming out on Friday. It's going to be episode 3 with a special guest. We've got a new interview with Carol that I can't wait to share with everybody, and so many more things coming out. We have a new Outlast podcast. That's the other one. Sloop is going to be the week after, and so will the new Round 3 be the week after. Round 3 is our brand new podcast, and it's going really well. So if you guys like fighting games and you want to know what it's like to be on the esports side of things, go check that one out. All right, let's head into the news. We're starting with a Halo series premiere. Squeaks, let's go with you first. What's your initial reaction to this Halo series?
A little, man, I guess, like a bright future, you could say, after watching the first episode.
Yeah.
I think when we talked about it, and there was some things I didn't like, but if we're not going to go fully into it, we don't need to. But I will say, like, that beginning was jaw dropping. I was not expecting that opening.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went to this, this middle portion of the episode where it's like, okay, I don't really care what's going on anymore. I don't care about the story that's kind of developing. But then that ending had me really like, man, this is really nice. Where, no spoilers or anything, but when they were in the ship and the Spartans were kind of like looking at the Marines, but the Spartans knew what they were doing, and then they kind of took off. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna just kill my high hopes for this series this early because it is only the first episode, but I could say like a portion of I'm hoping there's like going to be multiple things kind of going on, more storylines, but this initial story with this one teenage girl I don't care at all about. I hope it's really not focused. Yeah, it's like, why are we doing this? Like, it should literally be a Katana, a Master Chief, and some Spartans, Marines, whatever, doing what they do. And it's like, man, I hope this is not going to be I hope this story with the teenage girl is not going to overshadow everything else.
I talked to Kyle, who's read all the books. What a nerd. And apparently a lot of the stuff they're using is from the books. Like, we were asking, have they ever attacked humans? Has the Spartans ever fought humans? Apparently they fought pirates. And so these guys, and I know in the games, like when you're dealing with some of these colonies, they're not fans of yours, but they still deal with you. I think this is taking place before the Covenant is really known. Well, actually, we know that they didn't know who the Covenant was. So maybe it's before then, but it feels like the Spartans know what they're doing. Like the Spartans definitely know who all these people are. So maybe it's just that, it's a little bit tricky where the information's coming from.
Yeah, you're right, though. You make a good point because you're like in the beginning, you find out that these colonists, pirates, whatever, they didn't know who these Covenants were, but the Spartans, the Marines, and everything kind of felt like they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. I didn't really catch that at first. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get a little bit of politics of like, well, you guys are misleading the miners or whatever, and that'll probably get hammered out. I'm also getting a lot of vibes from StarCraft, like how StarCraft has two factions of humans within it, and that's kind of what this is feeling like. It feels like we're hearing from both sides. Um, I like that we're getting a lot more Halsey. Halsey is one of the most interesting characters in the Halo series. She's the doctor that basically created the Halo program or Master Chief program and everything. Uh, and so it'll be a Spartan program. There it is. That's the word I was looking for. I'm excited to see her move because she's doing wrong. Like she consistently betrays humanity, not humanity necessarily, but the Marines and everything like that in favor of her Spartans. And she's a little too controlling. Cortana's based off of her. There's all kinds of things that are really problematic about her. And yet, as you're playing John, as you're playing Master Chief, you're like, yeah, Halsey, go for it. And like, I need you to be a little corrupt to make sure I work out well. And so there's that too. And I think they're capturing that part really well in this. What do you think that we're going to get from Master Chief's character? I think they're going to be exploring more of like him as a person. What do you think about that?
I could see that for the fact that we had his helmet taken off in the first episode.
Yeah.
So I feel like, okay, right off the bat, where we're not used to that emotional connection with the video game because we are Master Chief, I feel like he's really making himself vulnerable now. So I feel like we can, like I said, get this specific connection and explore him as a more of an individual also, instead of him just kind of like killing everything, which I'd rather see anyway.
Immediately when that helmet took off, I was like, well, there goes all the mystique. It took away so much of it for me, and I think that might be the Mandalorian's fault in one way, because it's like, Mando made that moment really big. When he finally took off the helmet, we saw Pedro Pascal. It was huge, and I think they might have pulled that gun a little too fast on Halo. I don't know. They probably like, look, we can't do the Mandalorian thing. They've already done it, so they're probably changing it. But it's a little weird. I don't know. That'd be fair.
Yeah, but that Master Chief thing's been around a lot longer than for at least for the fans, it's been around a lot longer around than the Mandalorian. So it's like I feel like that could still work.
Yeah.
I guess I just wasn't ready for it.
Yes,
I think it makes him so much weaker though, because when you give him a face and he's now more or less a human person, then now that's his cap. When he has the helmet on and he is Master Chief, he is a myth that can live on forever. You could change the person inside the suit and nobody knows. It's like Batman wearing his mask, but when you take it off and all of a sudden you know what he looks like and he's just a regular person, then it kind of takes away a lot from the character too.
And that's
so true.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that's so true. And the idea that you are a myth, a legend, is part of the coolness in the game. It's like, oh, okay, this flood's taking over this entire planet. Drop me in there. Like, and you just feel like you could take over the planet, just give me enough bullets. And this character definitely does not feel like that way. This character now feels, he's just one headshot away from dying. It doesn't feel good anymore.
Yeah, it'll feel definitely like a power down if we're going to have Master Chief helmetless most of the time, communicating with the teenage girl and stuff. And it's like, no, the only female one you're communicating with is Cortana.
Exactly.
So I was like, man, it will, like John kind of pointed out, make him feel extremely weak if that's what we're gonna have the whole time.
Yeah, and so I liked that the first episode. It was really interesting to me. It seemed like it was from the very beginning. It was made for the gamers because it matched the game so much, and it didn't give you like the mainstream movies and TV where you have a real gradual buildup. You would see a regular civilization, then you kind of see like the Marines, and then you see like a little bit of like a struggle going on, and then oh crap, we're in a war. Then you introduce this mighty force that is the Spartans, and that would be the end of the first episode. And then in the second episode, you get deeper into what they are, and these aliens are fighting and stuff. They wanted to get the big hook out there, like right up the front, and dive straight into this world that's very extreme from what we're used to. And to me, that was a direct play to the gamers and not the mainstream consumers, which is cool.
Yeah, sure.
We've always wanted that. But then in the later half of the episode, it seems to kind of pull away from that in the fact that he takes off his helmet. And like you guys are saying, he's dealing with this girl that isn't part of the story that we're used to. And it all just kind of it later seems like, oh wait, now they are trying to make it more of a heartfelt story that people can relate with. But what happened to the hardcore, straight to the gamer gameplay view and stuff like that? I don't know. I think they're back and forth a little bit now.
For sure. I don't want to see this become like a Last of Us storyline where it's like this father-daughter thing.
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. And Yeah, I think you had a good point too, tailoring to the gamers, because we don't need the backstory. It's kind of like the 5th Spider-Man movie. I don't need to see this motherfucking spider bite Peter Parker again. Like we get it, right?
Yeah.
And for playing Halo so many years, we get the UNSC and Spartans and Covenant. Like, okay, just drop it in like they did in the beginning of the episode. Oh gosh, man! Like when they just dropped and stuff were just flying out, body parts everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on now? But yeah, definitely just, oh man, I just hope they could kind of nail this. I'd rather much see the Halsey doing everything to keep her Spartans alive than whatever this teenage girl's gonna be.
I think I might dislike the stuff you like on this, actually. The combat stuff I thought was kind of poor. So
really,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, because they try to show that the Spartans were faster and stronger than everybody else, which they so are. But then they kind of sped up their movement in a way that felt disjointed and not real. And I was like,
a little that uncanny valley kind of thing where their animation is a little too fast, and it looks like a 20% fast forward of actual movements. Yeah,
and then
I noticed that in a couple
which
scenes.
You notice it like in early CGI days on Star Wars was that way, where like all of a sudden you'd see like Obi-Wan jump too high up, and you're like, I get that he can do that. It just looks weird when he's doing it with this bad CGI. Or the early Spider-Mans are that way as well. And then on top of that, the HUD moments, like they're like, oh, we're going to show you from the position of the character, which was cool in Doom. It was like revolutionary in Doom. But here I'm just like, you're trying so hard for the nostalgia, which you don't need to do. We know who this is, and we're already nostalgic as it is. This feels just like you're disjointed. It feels like it's a mess to me. Like they didn't know what they were trying to appeal to, in my opinion. What did you guys think of the HUD moments?
Yeah, I think you could save those for specific scenes where you need to show his perspective, like he's struggling, he's about to die or something like that. And he's, looking out for a supply drop or something like that, and then you can see it from his perspective while his screen is glitching out or something. They used it in this first episode just to show that it is there and that it is the perspective that we're used to in the game, and that his health will regenerate and he could see the bar across the top, and that's cool. But I don't think it was necessary, like you're saying.
Yeah. And there are other times where they were like, oh, his shield's charging up, so he stops and you hear the sound. There are so many things where they're just like, I get that you're like, it's cool that you guys are putting in the sounds, but I get you guys are trying to like really shove it down the throat. There's one part where he's about to go into the cave and he swaps guns with one of the Marines, and they make sure to like do a close up on him swapping the gun, which should have been nothing. Like they should have been offhanded, but because you can do it in game, they made sure to stop and really show that action happening. Like, see, this is like when you press B and you're up to one of the Marines, you could take their gun. And I was just kind of like, I get it. This is based off a video game that we've all played. Tell the story. And that's why I kind of like that later half when we see like the question of like, will the Spartans attack the Marines to protect Master Chief? I love that.
That was great.
Go into that. Go into the Halsey. Go into all the power dynamic of Halsey versus her daughter. All that. Give me that. And it's like, do I need him like barely somehow dodging 2 elites? By the way, you can't duck in. Not like that in Halo. I don't know. I'm excited.
I really want to see. I want to hear a fan's perspective that doesn't watch movies, that is not a movie fan, because we have both. At least you guys play more games than I do, but we played a lot of Halo growing up.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of Halo, but I'm also a big fan of like all the MCU movies and all the modern movies, old movies, all kinds of movies. So I'm torn between wanting to see the movie made for gamers because it's a representation of the game we play, and a mainstream, like really cool, clean cut movie that's, made for movie watchers.
Yeah.
So that's and I think that's what you're saying, Frank, is like, we don't need all this, shoehorn nostalgia in the movie, but I think they put that there specifically for the gamers, but the mainstream people don't care about that kind of stuff. It feels awkward.
Yeah, for that nostalgia, I don't mind like the power up shield, but it has to be more fluent. Like take cover extremely fast, hear the sound, but make it not like a noticeable thing. Like let me wait here for a moment and do it.
Yeah, don't
like
zoom
if you
on
just
it kind of
did it like kind of like a quick Easter egg. Like okay, you got shot, duck cover, you hear the sound and go back out. Not like let me pause for a moment, whatever. The switching gun thing that should have just been fluid. Just pick up a gun,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the visor hub thing, I kind of like what John was saying when it's like a perspective that he needs to be looking at something, or the fact that maybe like a really cool close-up kill. But they did it a couple of times in that episode, and it's like, that's enough, and we're only in the first episode. Like,
right.
I get it. Like, if you did it once for a really cool kill in the beginning, okay, that's cool. Let's, I don't need to see it multiple times.
Another way they could do it, if they wanted to really introduce, how the technology works and stuff early on, that teenage girl that we're following, she finds a helmet or something. Well, she wouldn't find a helmet. Spartans don't lose their helmets, but she digs through their supply drop and puts on a helmet, and then she's trying to like just protect herself, just survive. But now
Ooh,
she
wow.
can see what they can see.
Yeah, that's true.
And that'd be maybe the reason she's the only one that survives is because she was using their armor or something like that.
John just predicted that she's going to become a Spartan.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do. With him running from everybody. I don't know, man. I'm hoping this will be good. It's hard because I'm coming off of Halo Infinite, which I believe is the best Halo game ever made. And
man,
I mean, I kind of replay it right now, basically. And so coming off of that to this, where I'm just like, your Easter eggs, you don't need to pause for 10 seconds to show us an Easter egg. Just make it an Easter egg. And we're supposed to look for them or, notice something. And so it was it was a tough moment.
Do you guys think, now I'm kind of, I don't know, just spitballing here, this young female character that we're following, do you think they're going to build her up and build this relationship with her and Master Chief, and then she dies, and that is like the fuel that motivates him to really want to fight the what do you call it, the Covenant?
That'd be neat because it'd be unexpected, but
it's so
everything that you're saying about it, just I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the relationship between them.
Okay.
I actually want to
Just
see
keep
these
going.
two like be buddies for a while, then separate and tell their stories separately. Because the idea of what I think is going to happen, like Squeaks was saying, is The Last of Us. That I do not want to see. I want to see The Last of Us do it. And I don't want to see Master Chief do it. He's supposed to be on his own, and then like the fleeting moments when he's with somebody else. Like actually in the newest game, he has a pilot that he's kind of like bonding with. Those are fleeting moments because the next adventure is going to come, and the only person he could trust is the AI in his helmet, and that's what makes that relationship so important. And the fact that Cortana, spoiler alerts for all Halo franchise, Cortana betrays him and then comes back, that's heart-wrenching because again, it's the only person Master Chief could trust is an AI. Oh man, that's good. I don't care about this teenager that we have to follow around. That's like another thing. Just last part, I can't stand how many shows are doing this now, where oh no, she's gonna get stabbed. Oh, somebody shot her, stabbed the guy that was about to stab her. Whoa! Like we've seen this 100 times. We already know. It's to the point now where we see somebody like on their back about to get killed, and like, okay, somebody's gonna come and shoot this person. I actually want to see her die at that point. I want to see like
that would be the
through.
suspenseful. That would be the surprise.
Yes. Oh my god. All right. Grades for this first episode. I gotta see. What do you guys think?
That's hard. I would say if I was just a gamer, it'd be like a B+ because it does have like everything from Halo. It seems like, but as watching mainstream like movies and wanting like a good TV show out of it, then I'd probably do a C as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do B-. And that's because the ending brought it back up to me, where you had that suspense of the Spartans, like just the Marines locking eyes with the Spartans, be like,
that was
okay,
the best part of the whole thing.
Seriously, like we think you're gonna be here to, take down Master Chief if needed, but really those guns are pointed at them, and it's like that tension build up. So it's like, okay, I had it was high here, medium sucked, and then the ending brought me back up. So that's why I gave it a B- for myself. I
especially like the idea of like the three Spartans. First off, one of them says, "Well, yeah, if they're gonna attack Master Chief, then they are the enemy." Like that whole like above the UNSC, above all of that, like you attack Master Chief, you're the enemy. And then when they point the guns at those Marines, not really threatening, but like the guns are there. The idea that like around them is the rest of the military. Like the Spartans understand like we'll take all of you fuckers out to save Master Chief.
We'll take down your whole branch if we need to.
Explore that. Awesome. I love that part of this. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go
real quick. Actually, before we move on, sorry. The Spartans. Do you think they're taking their helmets off, or we think they're gonna keep that mystery? I hope we. I mean, I'm hoping that we keep that mystery with those ones.
I like
and then
that
just
idea.
know that Master Chief. That'd be kind of neat.
Because think of how much emotions we got with their helmets on. Like you can do that.
Yeah.
So. All right, we had a really big deleted scene drop for Batman. So spoiler alert for Batman if you guys haven't seen this yet, for the Batman. And if you haven't, I don't know what's going on with you. But if you guys remember, when you watch the movie and at the very end, they have a website, ratalada.com, which is, from the movie. You can go to it. You could basically answer questions from the Riddler. At this point this week, finally, that game has ended, and it dropped a deleted scene. You had to answer 3 questions, riddles, and I won't tell you the answers, but they're all about Joker, so just go ahead and try it yourself. And yeah, so we have this deleted scene. Did you guys have a moment to watch this deleted scene? It's 5 minutes. Squeaks, you did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think about this new Joker, Barry Coogan's Joker?
Okay, well, a different approach with Joker, like we've been seeing, so that's neat. The scars, that it's like really open
Oof,
now.
yeah.
I like that. It's definitely brutal.
Yeah.
And gruesome look on him. I don't know if I care about his whole face and probably I'm assuming body being that scarred up.
Hmm.
You know, like
The hair was too much, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's pretty kind of perfect. I think everything's a little too much. Like I would have been more like been okay with like a Jack Nicholson smoothish like whatever, but with those scars
Yeah.
on his mouth. Um, but I do like his dialogue with the Batman and how he was talking. So I mean, that's pretty much all we got really. So I think that's my only downfall is just overall like the whole body isn't that messed up. Which honestly, that could be not that big of a deal. But I'm just not used to that really. I'm only used to that honestly with the Arkham series where he starts to get sick and stuff, where he's like
Yeah.
really mutilated looking.
That's
Yeah,
an excellent Joker, by the way. That's a really good
yeah, most
storyline.
definitely.
Where he, just so the people are not familiar, Joker dies in that series, but stays around in the game because he's inside of Batman's head, and Batman like talks to Joker the whole time while he's fighting other people, which is so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, man. I think he's just a little bit too much. Maybe he'll heal up a little bit before he goes out. Wouldn't does more things. Um, the mouth is very off-putting because it's like nasty
Yeah.
teeth and just
Mhm.
God, it's tough to look at.
Mhm.
But I really like their personality, and I think that's one of the
Yes.
high points, especially the situation where, for context, Batman is not sure who the Riddler could be or what's going on with the Riddler, so he's going to Joker, somebody he's already fought and put into Arkham, to ask questions about the serial killer, which is so Silent of the Lambs. Think of this Joker as Hannibal Lecter, and Joker right away freaking calls it. I love that Joker's smarter than Batman on this situation because he says, like, what do you talk about? Riddler is you. You guys are both masked vigilantes fighting for your cause. And Batman realizes that later on in the film when somebody says, I'm vengeance. One of Riddler's guys says, I'm vengeance. And then it's like, oh shit, you know? So I like that Joker calls that right away. And uh, this is a smarter Joker than Jared Leto's Joker. We can at least say that much. And I think it actually might be a smarter Joker than we've seen yet. Not, I mean, Heath Ledger is a fantastic Joker, but I'm just saying for like actual like psychology wise, which would be a really cool version of Joker, somebody who can like mess with Batman's brain, would be really cool. I think this is going to be something neat.
Yeah, I honestly think that's probably the type of Joker that we're going to get because the director Matt Reeves,
Matt
right?
Reeves, yeah.
Matt Reeves, I think already put out saying that he has no plans for the Joker being in the next movie. So
Right.
I'm taking that as like the villain. So I think we can get those dialogues back and forth with the Batman asking questions,
Mhm.
and we're going to see more of that smartness. But then that gets me thinking, who can we see that would fit that world?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go because all-time favorite, Scarecrow. But I'm talking Arkham Asylum Scarecrow. I'm not talking
Ooh,
like
yes.
the little smarter one. Like we could get the twisted ass, skinny body, like yeah, insane type Scarecrow, and that's what I want to see, honestly,
Yeah.
in this. But I would love to continue to see Joker talking to him, and maybe like a third Batman. We kind of see him like, okay, now we're getting Batman versus Joker. So
Well, and the entire time Batman's fighting his rogues gallery, he's putting him into Arkham Asylum, where we already saw Joker was recruiting Riddler. So we could
mhm.
have Joker building up an Arkham Asylum game, all right? Because at that point, Joker basically lets loose the entire ward, and Batman's trying to put them together. God, that's a good freaking franchise. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, everybody's wanting Mr. Freeze. I think Mr. Freeze is the slam dunk.
Mm.
If you really want to make everybody happy, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, God bless you, man, but you done messed that character up. Use the animated Batman version of him. Somebody who's
Mm.
smart and somebody we have compassion for. Like, Mr. Freeze is just trying to save his wife, and you feel bad for him, and I think that's what I want. But I don't know. Then I want to see I want to see that dialogue between Mr. Freeze and Joker, where he's trying to say like they try to stop you from saving your wife, and then just like
Mhm, mhm.
manipulates him into becoming a worse serial killer. That'd be really interesting to see where
Yeah.
it goes. We also have the Gotham series, and it's rumored that Two-Face. We know that it's already been rumored that this Joker will show up in the Gotham series, the new Gotham PD on HBO Max. But now there's a new rumor that also Two-Face is going to be one of the bigger villains that will be coming across there too. So Oh,
And that's a
that's good
future.
call.
That's an exciting future because even on top of that, they already said Penguin was going to have his
Penguin.
HBO series.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit, man!
Yeah.
This is exciting.
And then following the movie, you know that basically that movie is going to be about, or that series is going to be about Penguin coming into power, and
Hmm.
that'll be cool. And if they could get, I mean, Matt Reeves will direct that one. He's going to be directing the Penguin one, and he's going to be directing a series just about Arkham series, Asylum. And then we have another one, Gotham PD, that's not by Matt Reeves, but still same world. We have those three. If they
God,
are
man.
to the quality of Peacemaker, I will be so
Yeah.
happy because Peacemaker just totally justified all my hopes in DC TV series. That was such a perfect
Yeah.
show. It's so good.
Speaking of that, I'm trying to get through Titans again on HBO,
Okay.
and it's you could tell that definitely the budget's up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could get like the Batman quality on an HBO series, oh my gosh, it's just super exciting for DC right now.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the new Harry Potter game. We have some gameplay that came out this week. This is Hogwarts Legacy. Jonathan, since you know so much about the houses now,
Yes, well educated now.
All right, so this game I first thought was going to be an MMORPG, but it is not. It's a single player action RPG. That's fine by me. After seeing the gameplay, I'm more excited than ever. Really, it kind of reminds me of you're actually living at Hogwarts. It actually feels like you're actually going to class. You have an in between class, stuff like that. I'm really hyped for this. Jonathan, do you think you're gonna pick up a game where you could actually live as a character and try to unsolve this mystery and this new villain?
I think back in the day, I would have loved a game like this, but it sounds like a very time consuming game. And I'm at the time of my life where I could just like hop into a 10 or 15-minute round and then I have to get back off because the baby or wife or dog or something. So, yeah, it's not as easy to play anymore. But I think back in the day, for sure, this would have been a good game for me.
Yeah, we need just like Quidditch matches. Jonathan can hop in on the Quidditch matches.
Yeah.
There you go.
Multiplayer.
Be a seeker. I've used up all the words I know now.
Oh man.
That was the last word I knew. What about you, Squeaks? What do you think about this gameplay? that we
My
saw?
most anticipated game
By
since
far,
it was
huh?
originally announced.
Yeah.
Okay, so and this Let's Play just oh man, just solidifies that I'm going to be excited about like my excitement is still continuing with this game. And oh god, you watched it, I'm assuming, right?
I did, of
a little
course,
bit
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that game, first of all, is freaking beautiful. Oh
I-
my gosh,
it is
the environment on that game.
outstanding looking. It's crazy how beautiful it
Yes.
is.
Oh my gosh, just the scenes where you're walking on each house, like their corridors. Oh my god, just
Yeah.
and then the artistic, design of each of the environment. I'll talk a little bit about the things that I'm kind of excited for and kind of what I'm hoping for. Also, besides how beautiful it looks, I like how the fighting style looks fun. Just blasting from distance of different spells and the parry options that you can have. But also to kind of go on top of that is that the upgrades and the talent trees that they
Yeah.
advertise for. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, man, you could pertain to a certain style that you like.
I really like those talent trees. They actually look fun. Like sometimes talent trees are just like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. This is the ones I go click on to be the best possible. No, it's like
Mhm.
you like fire spells at a range, or do you like AOE, or do you like to be able to trap people or summon things? It's like you can go any way you
Yeah.
want to. I love that.
Man, it's just. I mean, they announced so many different spells that you can use in the game, so that's kind of cool that you can do a certain route on how you want to play. Kind of reminds me of Elden Ring a little bit because I picked a specific class and did not realize that, oh, you could do multiple things in this class. I thought this class just pertained to one thing, so that's kind of neat. I like how you're actually feeling like you're a student in Hogwarts at the same time that
Yeah.
this big story's going on. So it does feel like Harry, where you're like, oh, I just got to go to their herbology class or whatever it's called, and then like you get to see the portion or the part of that gameplay where you're making like a type of potion or something where you're like mixing something in a bowl, and it's like, man, that's gonna be so cool. That at the same time, this big thing going on, that hey, I'm just still a student in Hogwarts.
Exactly
and I
like
have
Harry
to do
would
these
be.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story seems cool, and that's the most scared thing I was looking like hope that would happen. Seems like this whole Goblin Uprising that's going to be working with these dark wizards. It seems like an entertaining story. I know it being just a single player, that's one thing I was worried about. Like, can the story actually like hook me in that I want to keep playing and not just gameplay?
Yeah.
It's like Elden Ring. Oh, okay, I play that all day for gameplay, but the story is just extremely lacking, and those games are always lacking in the story. but it's like I want a story that's going to pull me in and that I want to actually find out what's going on next. Yeah, so I'm super stoked for this game. I think the only thing that I'm hoping that, not hoping, like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, whatever. I'm not going to freak out about it. Would be, we saw that these like secret layers and stuff in Hogwarts, right? At least, you know, you could maybe say like dungeons or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be neat to explore that dungeon or secret layer, whatever the case may be, as multiplayer.
That would be really good.
I think that'd be
Specifically
fun.
those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It doesn't have
Quidditch.
to be the whole game, obviously. Like, let me, like, you know, yeah, right. Let me experience, you know, going to class and like these little story things by myself. But if there's like a big dungeon or something, whatever the case may be, I don't know. I'm just going off of whatever that gameplay was to be like, okay, you could keep up with the party or at least one other person, you know,
Yeah.
and then you and your buddy from a different house going and whatchamacallit, discovering like, oh shit, there's some bad shit going on. So
Yeah.
that'd be neat. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that'd be pretty awesome.
What we saw so far, though, I think this is definitely the beginning of a franchise, and I think it might be the best way to expand Harry Potter forward, because I haven't even bothered watching Fantastical Beasts because you told me not to, so
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
horrible.
bothered watching it.
They
This
look
new
good,
one looks
though.
pretty good.
I think I got to go back and start watching them.
Yeah, I did. I still feel the same, but
Oh, man.
I had to because I'm kind of looking forward to this new one just with Mads in it now. I'm like, oh god,
He's
it's gonna
amazing.
Be, it's gonna
Mads
be
Mikkelsen
hot.
is amazing.
Yeah,
Well, the trailer for
Yeah.
this new one to me looked better than the regular Harry Potter movies from like 10 years ago, whatever. Like the later ones, at least. The
yeah.
first couple were really good, but
yeah,
later ones
and I
not.
agree. Like this new trailer, yeah, it looks really good. The new for the movie.
Yeah, because they're in the new movie. Kind of going off topic here, but the new movie looks like and I haven't seen any of them. Like they're trying to penetrate Hogwarts, like they're actually going to Hogwarts or whatever.
Yeah,
And the first Fantastical Beast was like in London or New York or some shit. I didn't care. Hogwarts is where I want to be. That's why I'm looking forward to this
Mhm.
game. There we go. See how I brought it back. That's the cool part. And so the fact that they're returning, and then I don't know who the actor is, but I like the actor a lot. He's actually on Walking Dead and a few things. The fact that he's like a muggle that gets a wand, I'm like, oh, I want to explore what's going on with that. That's cool. And so
oh yeah,
fully as an outsider, I'm liking this new trailer, and I might have to watch them just to be able to watch this new one.
what do you think about the game though, Frank?
I mean, dude, I can't wait. Like I said, I think this is the proper way to expand the Harry Potter world, and I want to. I almost bought all the books a couple days ago. I was like, do I really want to invest so much freaking time into reading this entire franchise? But I almost
should.
did because I like Harry Potter. I just was old enough to be like a little too old to really read all the books. You know, I don't know. I know adults read it too, but right. I was just at the time. It was like, oh, I'm too cool, man. You know, I'm into Lord of the Rings. I'm too cool for Harry Potter, which is such a geek thing to say, but that's exactly what had happened. But anyway, so I want to get into this world and I want to expand it, and this might be the way to do it. And I think it's the proper way to do it because again, it brings back the magic. I remember so well that the shot that like blew my mind in the first movie was that panning shot of the like cafeteria or whatever in Hogwarts, and you see all the floating candles. That shot blew your mind as a kid. You were like, "Oh my god, this world is awesome! It's gorgeous! It's beautiful!" And then you, of course, got the music by John Williams kicking in. This game looks like it's going to expand that wonderment that the first Harry Potter brought in me. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. Now we just got to get Jonathan to retire so he can play video games full time.
Right? Gosh.
Yeah, man, it's a struggle. I get it, John. I'm up one night like 5 o'clock in the morning because that's just the only, you know, from I put the kid down till 5 o'clock in the morning to get my video game time in.
Wait, you
Yeah, it's
stay up
rough.
until 5 a.m?
Yeah, I did once. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yesterday was 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
How
See, I can't do that on a
effectively
weekday. Yeah. I get up for work at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I have to try to be in bed by like 10 at the latest.
Yeah.
And that's
damn.
when our son is finally getting to sleep.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's better than Daniel, who's a single man who, if he's going to work at 10 o'clock the next day, has to be in bed by 8 o'clock the night before. Guys, I work tomorrow, man. I can't be up past 8 o'clock. This is my bedtime. I got to get up for 10 o'clock in the morning, work tomorrow.
But if the game is worth it, he'll stay up till midnight, but he's going to call into work the next day.
Yeah, he'll call in sick for the game that's worth it. But it is hard to schedule around Daniel's emotions. What's going on?
Yeah.
He's gonna be mad that Squeaks is on. He's not on, by the way, because that was his big thing. Is he wanted to be on.
He's actually outside my door right now.
Is he really?
Nice.
Yeah, he's coming over today.
Oh God! You know how to lock the door, right? You just put the chain on it.
Yeah.
And don't-
Text him, sorry, man, we moved. You didn't know?
All right, we're gonna be talking about the brand new Doctor Who now. Okay, Doctor Who's one of those franchises, kind of like the Harry Potter books, I've always wanted to get into, but it is daunting. There's so much content. It's like trying to get into Star Trek now. And in a lot of ways, it's that way. Jonathan, are you familiar with Doctor Who at all? Are you interested in seeing a brand new version of this?
So I've never, like you, I've never really watched it. I've heard a lot about it. I know it's got a huge cult following, and like you're saying, it's like Star Trek pretty much. It's another one of those big. It's been on for so many seasons, and a lot of people are huge fans of it. But I've never watched it, though. Now that it's going to be rebooted, sorry, got an annoying dog staying with us. But yeah, now that it's being rebooted, I think I'll definitely watch this version of it. I was looking up Hugh Grant. I was like, okay, let me try to find. I'll just stop till the dog shit.
You just open the front door, then the problem goes away forever. I'm just saying.
Fucking muggle ass
It
dog.
sits by the door and barks. All right, maybe we're better. Okay. So yeah, then I started looking up Hugh Grant because I'm like, I know that name. I just can't put a face to it. And then I see, oh yeah. I'm trying to identify what's the movie that I know him from. There's not one. He's in tons of movies, but they're all like those, made for TV or like kind of B-level movies and stuff. But he's been in so many different things. So he's got a really good range, and I think it'll be really cool to see him in something that will almost guarantee take off for sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
So what they're trying to do, they're actually bringing back one of the old series runners for this new season of Doctor Who, and they specifically said they were trying to create an MCU expanded universe over here, and they're trying to make it to where it's more accepting to new people. Grant is a big enough name to pull in people who have never seen Doctor Who, and they're gonna kind of simplify or retell the story, get it all fresh, so new people can join in now and not have to watch, shit from the '60s to know what's going on. I think I'm gonna watch this because it's again one of those things. Now, specifically, I remember the Community had like a knockoff version of this, and that's what got me into it because Community had their own fake version of Doctor Who. But yeah, I think this is gonna bring me in. It feels like a J.J. Abrams moment, right? For Star Trek, like those will bring in new people. Squeaks is one of them.
Yeah,
and get them into like, okay, now that I know what's going on, maybe I'll go ahead and watch some of the past seasons and poke around.
But like you're saying, it's daunting. I don't remember. I think it's like 26 seasons or something like that they have. It's some huge number. It's been on forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to watch them all, but it's like, I can't watch them out of order. I got to watch them from season 1.
Oh, no.
And that's going to take me years to actually get through. So yeah, that's hard, but it'd be cool to at least watch a few episodes.
And then I don't know how connected they are. Somebody who watches Doctor Who, maybe you guys could let us know on the socials. Check out our Twitter account and let us know how connected they are, because I know the idea is that the Doctor is actually the same being, but changes forms when they change an actor, something along those lines. So I think the Doctor from the '60s is the same Doctor that's out right now, and going forward. So I don't know how connected they are, and that's the part that really puts me away, because luckily Star Trek is very good in the '60s, but even then some episodes are like, oof, this is hard to watch. Try watching Who Mourns for Adonis and say like, they nailed the CGI on this one, folks.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bit, and then like the episode you guys are reviewing this week, it's like there's a string above that robot that's holding him up right now.
Right, and it kind of wobbles as if it's being suspended.
Yes, and then they have like sometimes they put the camera behind him, and it's like, I wonder why the camera's so close. Oh, that's right, they don't want to show the string holding him up anymore. So that takes you out of it a little bit. It's hard to tell those stories sometimes. I don't know. I think I'm going to give this a shot. What do you think, Squeaks? Are you going to be watching some Doctor Who now that they're rebooting the entire franchise?
I mean, you kind of sold me a little bit with the whole pulling me in with the J.J. Abrams reference.
Yeah.
So there's a possible chance, but I could tell you there's probably a 100% chance that I'm not going to revisit all the other seasons like I am doing with Star Trek. So, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'll give it a one episode and see how it feels. I've watched an episode of Doctor Who here and there just to see what it's like, and I just don't really have an interest in it, to be honest. But I know it's extremely popular, so that's why I'm trying to force myself to maybe get into it. So maybe I will check this out to have that good starting point.
It's one of those things, and there's a few of them out there, where it's like, man, I wish I was, like, anime is really good. Like, man, I wish I knew more about My Hero Academia, because everybody's so excited about this new thing coming out. And it'd be cool to be excited with them. And I just don't know enough, so it's hard to jump in on that. All right, we're going to be closing things up with some recommendations for you guys. We've been doing this lately. What we're playing, what we recommend, what we're watching. Jonathan, let's start with you. Is there anything out there that people should be playing or watching right now?
So playing, I just re-downloaded Sea of Thieves, but I haven't had time to even log into it, so I haven't been playing.
Let me know,
anything.
man. I kind of having an
Same.
urge lately because I want to continue
yeah.
that Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know.
Yeah,
Shit,
all
yeah,
the new all
yeah.
the new quests or whatever that we didn't finish.
Shoot me a
Yeah.
text.
Yeah. I've been watching. Oh man, it's so good. If you guys have time, you got to get caught up on Star Trek. But I've been watching the new season of Star Trek Picard. It is so
Mm.
good. Oh, so much like, it's the obviously time travel and Q and the Borg Queen and all kinds of stuff going on. So, definitely that's my must watch right there.
That's kind of the
Star Trek
consensus.
Picard.
I haven't been watching because I'm waiting to like binge it all right before Strange New Worlds.
Mhm.
But that's been the consensus. Is like, wow, Picard actually figured out their voice in the second season, and it's just that good. Which reminds me of Discovery because the second season of Discovery was the best, And so, hopefully, that doesn't
Also-
mean that we're gonna get to season 3 bad. But yeah,
Also, I've been reading the new issues of Saga. So if you guys haven't caught up, like you guys, you gotta
yeah,
get the
I
new.
know.
There's three issues out now. I think the
I'm
fourth one actually
stacking it.
came out this week.
I'm stacking the new issues, and we'll eventually get to them.
Yeah, I'm so behind on comics that I haven't even read the first issue yet of Saga. You got
Nah.
me.
I'm
So
getting behind
I'm
on
like,
Thor. Even
yeah.
it's like, man, it's hard to keep up on everything.
It is, especially with the new Spawn series out. There's 3 of them, so it's like, okay, like it just keeps stacking up on top of the Magic series I'm reading, The
Yeah.
Gathering. So
One of the things that's slowing me down is not only are we, I am very fortunate to interview a lot of these comic book writers and writers and whatnot and developers. That's great, but I also have to read their comics and read their book and read or play their game or watch their show. So a lot of my time is taken up by indie developers that I am enjoying, but nevertheless, it means I don't read Thor that week or something like that. So that is taking up a lot of my time. And there's so I'll go ahead with my recommendations real quick. The Last Kingdom's final season is out right now. I've been holding off on watching the last episode because it's so damn good, and it's based off of a book franchise that has like 23 books. I think they do like 2 books per season. I could be all off on those numbers, but it's generally accurate to history in the UK, in England. Specifically, the main character is not. He is this. Just to give you guys a quick rundown of the story. He was the son of a lord in Bebbanburg. It's like a northern castle. He gets taken by Vikings. He's raised by Vikings. The Vikings are dead. And now he's this man who's like, he has rights to the castle of Bebbanburg, but he's helping like King Alfred unite England. It's a really cool story that actually is a pretty fast pace because there's so many books. It's like Lord of the Rings, but turned up to double speed. And really epic battles, really cool characters. And it's one of those things where it's like, it won't betray you necessarily. Like, oh, I really like this character. It's hard to explain, but like, so say there's like, this guy's a badass, but he's probably going to betray everybody. If this is Lord of the Rings or Vikings, that guy will betray everybody. Nope. He's going to be his best friend and one of his most loyal allies now. And that keeps happening. Like, a lot of these guys that are like, this guy's a little bit of a badass. I could see in a normal show, he'd betray him and take over. Nope. New badass. And it's just like, that keeps happening. And then some of the people that like Uhtred, which is the main character's name, when he's like really loyal to a king or something like that, and like that guy keeps disappointing him. And it's not the local badasses that's disappointing. It's like the power at B. And it's like, that sucks. It's a really good series. The final season's out now. Check that out. They just announced that they're going to do a movie to tie up everything else because I guess there's 3 more books that came out. Guy's like the opposite of George R.R. Martin. He just writes really fast. And so there's been 3 movies or 3 books since the start of the season or the series. So you guys could check that out. That's The Last Kingdom on Netflix. It's really worth the watch. What do you got there, Squeaks?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I'll recommend the Halo series, even though it's like a kind of like a medium. Definitely watch that because it is the new thing right now. I talked to you a little bit before this, but if you have not started at all, the Marvelous Miss Maisel started. It's a great series. I am a little not too happy with this latest season. I think we're on season 3. I think so.
4. We're on season 4 right now.
Season 4 now. Okay, it's kind of like at a standstill. Like, okay, come on, let's go. Like, let's continue the story. But it's still a great series overall. I mean,
visually,
game-wise,
I love that series. Just visuals. I mean, you are sucked up into the 50s and 60s. It's gorgeous the work they put in that series.
Man, for some reason, I am a sucker for 50s stuff.
Oh,
like,
I know.
yeah, like I freaking love it. And man, anyway, yeah. So that's a great series, the Halo series. I think game-wise, everybody can recommend it. That I'm just on Elden Ring. It's the only thing I think about right now.
Man.
Yeah, it's like that's all I have a desire of playing. But I saw you, Frank, got on your Switch because I was playing because no matter how bad a Kingdom Hearts game is, I still play it. So I was playing the Melody one, where it's basically you're just like Guitar Hero on your like Switch controller, really, for all the songs in Kingdom Hearts. But I saw you playing Kirby.
It's excellent. Yeah.
Really? Fuck. I was tempted to buy it, but I was like, no, I can't buy it right now. I'm not ready for it. So.
I'm still early on, and I'm a big fan of like these big open world games, and it's nice to have a game that's like, hey, this has a level, and you just got to, and it's embracing. It feels like you're playing Mario 64 or Kirby 64, a classic 3D platformer. He has some gimmicks. The thing that this game, the gimmick is he swallows bigger objects like the car or these like big pylons. That's the gimmick on that, and that part feels like a Mario game. Everything else feels like a classic Kirby game. It has some of the classic sounds redone. I hope this is the beginning of the franchise kind of starting again, because some of the recent iterations have been like, well, let's make it look like a Yoshi game. No, that's Yoshi. Leave that over there. This one feels really good. I'm still too early to give it a grade, but so far I'm very happy with it. And
that's good, man.
Man, we have so many good games and movies and shows coming out just because of everything got delayed for the last 2 years. They're all coming out right now, and it's hard because I'm still playing Horizon Forbidden West, and I haven't touched Elden Ring, and me and Joe are playing a brand new patch of World of Warcraft. We're doing dungeons and raids right now, and it's just like, holy cow, it's so hard.
Yeah. Man, that's good to hear. That's tempting, though, because it's like, do I go out and buy it? But I know it's just going to sit there for a little bit because I don't want to really play anything until I'm done with Elden Ring, which I'm 3 out of 4 bosses now, story-wise. Level 122.
Elden Ring on PS5?
On PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to trade you afterwards. We could play each other's games, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, I have a digital anyway. Digital PS5.
I forgot
I'm moving to the future.
Digital guy. Okay.
I'm moving to the future, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'll probably just end up picking that up now. Damn it.
Yeah. Lastly, Jonathan, any news on your Steam Deck? Have you heard anything about that yet?
No, I had a coworker even told me like he checked his status and it was updated or something like that. Okay. So he's like, yeah, man, they're like pushing us back, is what he was saying. I'm like, well, yeah, we heard back in December that everyone was getting moved back 2 months. So yeah, he was, mad, saying that he's gonna get it later than he expected or whatever. Last time I saw it was gonna be around August. It said after the second quarter, after the third quarter.
Last I heard was after the second quarter, but people are getting it. Yeah, me and him both have it pre-ordered, but he has the biggest one.
Oh, shit.
He's going to get his first.
Okay. I haven't heard very good things about that, so I'm interested to see it like in person from you guys.
Yeah. One thing I've been hearing is that if you mod it, you mess it up. Like, not necessarily mess it up, but it definitely hampers how well it performs if you try to start adding things to it. Like Windows or whatever. Like, just stick with what it has, basically. For now, anyways. Yeah. I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is it for us this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, we have a new Pushing Buttons, a new interview, and a brand new Trek Freaks out this week, a new Outlast podcast. So much cool stuff. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.